Oh, hey guys, it's me again, and today's been a little crazy, and I just wanted to kind of give you um, my testimony in all of this. And I'm gonna start by saying that I went on Instagram, and it's like I feel like everything is related to me at this point. Um, it was a lot of things going on that were really like targeting my life. And, one thing they kept mentioning was the fact that, the enemy is going to return everything back to you. And I do agree with that. And a lot of them were like, you're going to be victorious. This is like a personal attack that, you know, God is. So, another thing they were saying was that God is taking this matter very personal. And if you know my story, I had a lot of people or some individuals around me that would mock God and would tell me very often that I was crazy because I'm very spiritual. And I mean very spiritual. And this is like emotional for me because okay, so I had a friend that I had met a while ago, and I always consider her my friend, helped her out through everything, and I'm gonna summarize it the best that I can for you guys. So this individual, I thought was my friend, and I thought she was there for me, like through thick and thin and everything. And me and her had, our bonds had broken apart at one point, and I went into, seeking God and seeking Jesus, and I left a lot of things behind. And at this point, I'm leaving this thing behind. I'm leaving my old self in the past, and I'm, getting renewed, and God is working through me, and everybody's seeing changes, and they're like, wow, like this person is really with God, like this person is really touched by God and Jesus. And yes, it's true. At that point in time, or at one point in time, I decided to reach out to her, and we started communicating. It was great and everything. I thought that, Jesus put this person in my life for something greater. So, we're going out, we're having fun, we're experiencing things. I actually ended up drinking again, and I actually ended up smoking again with this individual. And as you can see at this point, I'm derailing from where I'm supposed to be. But I trust the process because Jesus knows what he's doing, right? So I'm trusting the process. And as the days go by, so anyway, at this point, I'm derailing, right? I'm drinking, I'm smoking, I'm going out to clubs. I am, having fun with my friend, that I think it's my friend. And, at this point, I'm not really paying any attention because, again, like I said, God works in his own way. So when he takes me out of my comfort zone to place me in these predicaments, I have to trust the process. Okay, so that being said, as the days go by, I'm noticing that my kids became a problem to this individual. She's literally arguing with me. She wants me to do what she wants me to do. She becomes petty. She's picking fights. At this point, it was just like I have no idea what was transpiring, until the point where she just crossed that boundary. She crossed that line and brought me to that dark place where I came out of. And it triggered something. It triggered something so fast. It was like, wait, hold up. Like, this is a whole level of disrespect. This is not what I signed up for. Like, you're going way beyond at this point. She's bringing other people into the argument. It was like she just kept on throwing. It's like she wanted to throw a stone at me if she could, and then she involved my kids into it. She involved her daughter into it. At this point, it was like, it was just toxic. It was toxic. And I realized when I started putting two and two together that this individual used me for her personal gain. This individual did not really love or considered me as someone that she cared for. And each and every time she would belittle people. Like, she would literally be petty. There was so many things going on with her that I wasn't realizing at that point in time, because I was so focused that, she was my friend and I loved her and I was trying to be there genuinely for her. So at this point, I'm like, God, like, Jesus, like, what's going on? Like, it was. So remember, I'm trusting the process. There's a reason why God wanted her back in my life. Because remember, he had took her out my life at one point. Remember that. He took her out my life at one point. So at this point, right, all this is transpiring, and I communicated with her and I tried to reason with her. It was not going through, like, at all. She was just being petty, and I actually called her a narcissist. And some of you may be like, well, you're a Christian, you shouldn't do that. I'm sorry, I've been through too much to not call you out. I've been through too much to not call you out. And I've been dealing with this for a very long time, and I have not noticed how bad it was until God brought her back into my life. And I had to really open my eyes and see what God was trying to show me the whole time. Remember what I said? He put me there for a specific reason. So I realized that as I'm doing all the, you start putting the pieces together to the puzzle. She was envious. She was jealous of me. She always wanted what I actually had. So as I was saying, I realized as I'm putting the pieces together that she wanted the life I had. Mind-blowing. She was always envious that I was able to have a family and be married. And not only that, but my husband and me, we both walked in Jesus' presence. Even though we had our arguments, we had an established bond that was not breakable. And one thing that she would always say was, oh, I want a marriage like yours. And this is where it gets interesting, guys, because I didn't realize this until I started putting two and two together. So, you would come to my home and you was envious of me, and you wanted what I had, to the point where you was so fixative on getting married yourself. And what I told her is, your time will come. Because for some reason I always had this ability to connect others. For some reason, don't ask me why, it's just something that I was able to do. And it's crazy because her husband came to me and showed me the ring. He was going to propose to her and everything. He saw me as her true friend, really. Like, we had a great bond. And as I'm, thinking about all of this and putting all the pieces together, I realized that she was a thief in the night. You understand? Like, she was someone that was sent to my life to conquer and destroy. That is why that verse came up, where it says, if you find a thief, the thief will reward you. What was it, 10 times fold or 7 times fold, something like that? And I was stunned because I said to my... So anyway, guys, at this point, I'm very, very stunned. I'm going through all this. There were more tests and trials as, the time progressed. It was just like, how can I explain? Like, I started working in a certain place, and she basically, tore me down and said that, she was too good for that job and she wasn't gonna apply for that job. Eventually, I got the job. I did work there. And she didn't even tell me she was applying for this job, right? After she done told me, like, listen, I don't want this. Like, I got my bachelor's degree. I can't scoop that low, this, that, and the... Like, she did a whole scenario. Like, it was crazy. And she ended up applying to the job, and she got that same job. The only thing, she was in a different state. So she didn't tell me she got the job until after she got the job. She didn't even tell me she was applying for the job. But mind you, she said all this shit about this one job. And I'm like, but how can you talk about you downgrading yourself and you apply to this job, you get this job, and you make me feel like, like it was a low ass job. And it was a very good job at that. So it made me question what was her intentions towards me. Because at this point, you're throwing shade. You're throwing shade at everything I'm doing. You're trying to fix me. Like, you're not God. You can't fix me. You're not Jesus. You can't heal me. You can't heal me. You can't heal me. It's no. So it became very clear that she was envious of me. And I was opening the door to someone that was very envious of me. And someone that had no true intentions in my life. And with this, I say that not everyone that comes into your life is meant to be there. And if Jesus removes them, it's because he saw that they was talking shit about you behind your back. So he takes his children very personal. And when he says he is taking the matter personally because you attack. So yes, at the end of the day, Jesus does take his kids very personal. And to be honest, I'm one of them. He takes it very personal when it comes down to me. So You know, for those of you that know him and they know what I'm talking about, and you know he gets mad when somebody comes after his kid, um, it is what it is. Like, be careful because, you know, the devil has no say so at all. Okay? When Jesus steps in, it's like he just flees. I mean, he has nothing to say at this point. I was victorious, so thank you. So I just wanted to say this because this is really hitting me and the emotions are so strong. You know, it relates back to this testimony that I said regarding this friend, this individual. And, you know, I was sitting here and I saw that her mom has passed away, by the way, for those that don't know. And I saw her mom in anguish and crying. And, you know, she's basically emotional, hysterical. She knows her daughter did something wrong, and she knows that in order for her to enter heaven, she has to go to Jesus. And she knows that if she don't go to Jesus, she's not getting in. And at this point, I can't even help her. This is a battle that she has to do on her own. She has to pick up her cross and walk. And I feel hurt.
Who read the book?